All right, Sports Mashup number 113, final one of May 31st, 2023. And we begin in the NBA.
Yeah, you got the Bucks hire assistant Adrian Griffin as their new head coach.
Yeah, kind of been a name that's been thrown around the NBA coaching circles for a while. Obviously, his son played at Duke. He had another son that played at Illinois and then played at Syracuse, and then has a daughter that plays either in college or the WNBA. So, lifelong basketball guy, and one of the top assistants available, I would say. And I think it says something when you have teams like the Bucks who are in a similar situation to the Suns, as in they're a contender and they have superstars, or at least one for the Bucks, and they get an assistant hired. I think the Suns are also going to hire an assistant. So
I guess you would say Milton, but he's not a superstar. He's an all
not
star
not right.
when he's
Yeah,
healthy.
his injuries have really caught up. I think Drew Holiday is the second best player on their team, and I don't think he's a superstar, but
No,
Giannis
I
is
would
a
I would say
Giannis is a megastar.
he's an all star.
Yeah, Giannis is a megastar, and obviously Durant and Booker are both superstars. And I think the Suns are going to end up hiring an assistant as well. It's probably going to be Kevin Young. Just throw that out there. I think next week we'll be talking about the Suns hiring Kevin Young as their head coach. So I think it says a lot about the Bucks and the Suns. They're in similar positions, not recycling head coaches, even though they both flirted with the idea of doing that, because obviously the Bucks were interested in Nick Nurse. The Suns were have been interested in Doc Rivers and Frank Vogel. But, speaking of Nick Nurse, the 76ers hire Nick Nurse as their head coach. I don't really have an opinion on this. I don't know how it's going to go. I think Nick Nurse is a good basketball coach, but I don't know how this is going to go, because a lot of it's going to depend on what they do in the offseason, because Harden's probably not coming back. He's a free agent. What are you going to do around Embiid? You have Tobias Harris making like $39 million. So we'll see.
Yeah, they got a lot of young
Yeah,
players.
Tyrese Maxey, and yeah, it's not a bad situation for Nurse.
But the NBA playoffs.
Yep, the Celtics came back from down 3-0, got it to Game 7, and did what a lot of teams have been doing in sports recently. And I kind of read the blue. That's on me. But I will say this. I wanted to make this point. What is up with teams being down 3-1 or down 3-0 and like forcing a Game 7 at home and then getting destroyed? That's been happening a lot.
I don't know.
It's bizarre. Like I think there's multiple examples from the NBA and the NHL over the last few years that you could point to. The Suns have two of at least one of those examples for a Game 7. But
and now you have the Eastern Conference Final MVP named as Larry Bird. The Heat take that away from the Celtics in Boston. You got the Western Conference Final MVP as Magic Johnson. The Lakers get swept by the Nuggets.
Yeah.
So you had the Larry Bird Trophy go to Jimmy Butler, and the Western went to Jokic.
And both of those happened on the home floor for Boston and LA.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, I guess the Tatum rolling his ankle in the first play of the game, really not a good sign for Boston. He didn't really have it in the second half. Adrenaline wasn't there anymore. So Celtics probably going to make some changes this summer, and I think the Lakers probably will as well. But this will be I think we both think that this might be a quick finals, but who knows? The NBA finals start tomorrow, June 1st in Denver, Nuggets and Heat. And I just threw this in there to make our picks here.
Yeah, I took the Nuggets in 4.
I'm going to give the Heat a little bit of respect, somewhat, I guess. There's not really much of a difference, but Nuggets in 5 would be mine, yeah.
I'm just guessing you have them winning one home game.
Well, here's the thing. There's this thing in sports where an 8 seed like the Heat doesn't get any respect for the first 3 rounds, and then when they get to the championship, they start to get respect, and then they get steamrolled by a better team. And I think that's what's going to happen here.
Well, because you got a team who's been resting for how long, been able to look at film from all of their games against the Celtics. They had film on both teams.
Yeah, and they have one of the better X's and O's coaches in the league with Malone. So, Yeah, the Heat are really fighting an uphill battle here. When your second best player, and this is no disrespect to Caleb Martin, but when your second best player is Caleb Martin, you're in big trouble. Because, like, think of the second best player on teams that have made it to the finals in the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, last year it was Jaylen Brown and probably Klay Thompson or Andrew Wiggins. Might have been Andrew Wiggins last year for the Warriors. But and the second best player year before that, it was Chris Paul and Chris Middleton. And then the year before that, it's just Caleb Martin, he's been good, but it's just completely different.
Them losing Tyler Hero in the first round.
Yeah, the fact that they've even gotten here is a huge testament to their roster and Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler's hurt too. I mean, he's been playing through that ankle injury for a little bit now. And yeah, I think the Nuggets are going to beat him up pretty good. Yeah, I could actually see
he's going to want the best matchup, so he's going to really chase Jamal Murray around.
Yeah. And then you'll probably have Caleb Martin guarding Michael Porter Jr. I don't think Bam has any chance against Jokic, but who knows? It's going to take a lot for the Heat to even make this a series, I think. But on to the NFL.
Yeah, you had the Cardinals release wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins after 3 seasons.
Just NFL trade market at this point is if your contract is as big as his and you're coming off a season where you weren't elite, you're going to have trouble getting a lot for him.
So now where does he sign?
I feel like Kansas City or Buffalo would be 2 good fits. Kind of like prime spots for receivers to go.
I was thinking either Buffalo or the Rams.
Yeah, but then it's like, would you rather catch passes from Stafford or Josh Allen or maybe even Mahomes?
Yeah, but you might get less pressure off with Cooper Kupp. I mean, yeah, you got Stephon Diggs on their side in Buffalo, but
well, if you go to Kansas City, you got Kelsey. Everybody's worried about Kelsey. So, yeah, we'll see.
Then he'd be called a ring chaser.
Yeah, well, I'd take the ring and not care what people said, but maybe he's different. I don't know. But getting out of Arizona is good. And then apparently there's this new kickoff rule here, and I have an article pulled up. Matthew Slater, who's a very good special teams player, former player from the Patriots. I think he's retired, right? Yeah. He says that this rule does not make it safer. So the NFL owners voted to adopt a new rule for the 2023 season that calls for the ball to be placed at the 25-yard line if a kickoff is fair caught anywhere inside the 25-yard line. So, yeah.
First they got rid of where it had to be touched, where you couldn't be a touchdown. And then and once it passed the end zone, it was automatically a touchback. You didn't even have to call for a fair catch. Now you can just fair catch it inside 25.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was introduced by Andy Reid, John Harbaugh, and Dan Campbell. Or they disagreed with it when it was introduced. And Bill Belichick also agrees that it's a stupid rule. So,
of course, a lot of the old-time football players.
I don't think special teams coaches are happy either. Typical. There's always one rule every year that everybody hates in the NFL. And this is the one this year.
I would say then move the ball back and kick it.
Yeah. But who knows? All right, on to golf.
Last weekend, you had the Charles Schwab Challenge. The winner was Emiliano Grillo in a one-hole playoff. Shot 8 under, won $1.6 million.
Yeah, it was a nice tournament. A little back and forth in the leaderboard late. Ended up being a pretty good finish.
Yeah, course must have played tough again.
Yeah, it's not an easy course. There's some holes that'll swallow players up. But this week you have the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday. The defending champion is Billy Horschel. This is at Muirfield Village Golf Club in Dublin, Ohio. This is Jack Nicklaus tournament, Jack Nicklaus course. So good field this week. pretty much all the best players in the world playing. Is Scotty Scheffler? He's there, right?
Yeah.
Max Homa's not playing, but other than that, I think you pretty much got everybody. So it should be a good tournament, good field, and wanted to quickly discuss the whole Rory thing with the comments that he made. I guess was that today?
It was today or yesterday. He basically said that Brooks Koepka should be on the U.S. team, but he's unsure of all the European guys who left for the Live Tour because of what they did. Kind of a double standard because he's a European player that go.
The big difference here is that none of those players that went to the Live Tour that are European Ryder Cup contenders are anywhere near as good or in the form that Brooks Koepka is in. And I've already thought or heard enough about this issue. I think Brooks Koepka should be on the team. I think if Europe wants to pick Lee Westwood and Ian Poulter, please do, because the U.S. is not scared of those guys. So
Poulter's one that wears all the funky clothes, right?
Yeah. I think the big horses for Europe this year are going to be Rory, Jon Rahm, Matt Fitzpatrick, and then fill out the rest of the team with like Shane Lowry and Tyrrell Hatton and a few others. And then the U.S., you're going to have Scheffler, JT, Spieth, Koepka is going to be on there. I'm almost sure of that. So, yeah, I'd be interested to see how the European team, how they fill out their team. It'll be interesting because Sergio, you can make an argument that he should be there, but he's a live guy, so we'll see.
What about Hovland? Is he included in that?
Yeah, Hovland's good. That's another guy. He'll be like their fourth big horse. Because, if you remember the last Ryder Cup in 2021, and it's always different when it's in Europe. This one's at the Marco Simone in Italy, so it's harder to win for the U.S. in Europe. But, they had Hovland, Rahm, Fitzpatrick, and Rory on the last Ryder Cup team in Europe. But the only player that really showed up and did anything was Rahm. So we'll see how they perform this time. But it'll be interesting to see how they fill out the teams. On to college basketball.
Yeah, the deadline for players to withdraw from the 2023 NBA Draft is tonight at midnight Eastern.
Still some big decisions to be made. Zach Edey of Purdue still hasn't decided. A couple other Kentucky players on top of Kentucky big man and 2022 National Player of the Year Oscar Tshiebwe will be staying in the NBA Draft. So he gone. Kentucky's going to be like all freshmen this year. It's going to be really a throwback to what it used to be. And it's much harder to win that way now. But
yeah,
that's because other teams get older.
Has there been any more news on Caleb Love either since last week?
Oh, yeah, Caleb Love committed to Arizona. I forgot to write that down. Yeah, we listed like Arizona, Gonzaga, Texas, or something.
Yeah, and then we're like, there's no he's going to Gonzaga because Creighton's point guard just went there.
Texas has Tyrese Hunter, so Arizona now has 3 guys that are capable of being in the backcourt starting. They have Caleb Love, Jaden Bradley from Alabama as a transfer, and Kylan Boswell as a freshman last year was terrific. I think he deserves to start, so hopefully he does because he chose Arizona over going back home to Illinois. No bias here, but I hope he gets a chance to play because I think he'll be really good at Arizona. Caleb Love, I don't know. I guess you can win with a guy like that. It's going to depend on who's around him, coaching, all that stuff. So, he hit a big shot in the Final Four against Duke, and they went to the national championship with him, so you can win with him. It's just last year was not good. Major League Baseball, the Cubs have been struggling, but Marcus Stroman throws a one-hitter against the best team in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays. So,
1-1-0.
Stroman's been really good. Probably gets traded this deadline, if I had to guess, but who knows?
I'm still so mad at him when he had the chance after he left was it Toronto?
Yeah.
And he had that picture with the Cardinals back stop. He posted on Twitter or something. And the next, he signed with the Cubs.
Yep. Damn shame, but what can you do? Maybe the Cardinals will sign him in the winter. Probably not, though. They got too much money invested in Steven Matz.
Yeah.
All right.
The Tigers outfielder out indefinitely. I'm glad to see I forgot to write his name. I think it was
Riley Green, I think.
Yeah. After
Young.
suffering a stress fracture in his left fibula, is going to get a second opinion.
Yeah, he's a breakout star. Really good young talent. So hopefully he's not too banged up here, and we'll see him again soon. But I guess this kind of fracture,
I think it's his second year in the league.
Yeah, he's young. Probably his first full year. I don't know if he was there the entire time last year. He's 22 years old. Let me see if I can find his stats here. Yeah, batting 296 this year, 5 home runs, 18 RBI, 60 hits. Very good fielder. 5th overall pick in 2019. Yeah, played 93 games last year. Good player.
Yeah, so then you listen to this family members to Mikhail Garcia of the Royals. His uncles are Kelvin Escobar, Jose Escobar's cousins are Edwin Escobar, Angel Escobar, Alcide Escobar, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Vicente Campos.
Damn.
I think the comment in the picture was, imagine the wiffle ball games at this house.
Yeah, that'd be filthy.
And then most homers in 50 games of a season. In the first 50 games of a season by a Cardinals player than 23 or younger. Albert had 16. Gorman had 13.
Gorman, good ball player, no doubt. I mean,
then you got Julio Rodriguez, now sponsored by Alaska Airlines.
Kind of weird.
Every time he hits a home run at T-Mobile Park, 44 fans sitting in the section it lands will win a free round-trip flight to the destination of their choice.
It's a good way to make money.
And then pitchers to throw 104-plus mile-per-hour pitches since the pitch tracker era in 2008. Chapman at 66, Hicks at 12. Jahan Duran, 3, all in one game. Ryan Helsley, 2. Mauricio Cabrera, 1. Tayron Guerrero, 1. Camilo Doval, 1. Neftali Flees, 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's that Duran from Minnesota. Very good. Nasty.
To throw 3 of them in the same inning.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the Caleb Martin thing I was looking for earlier. So in 2018, he earned Mountain West Player of the Year honors while playing for Nevada. June of 19, he went undrafted. July, he signed a 10-day contract with the Hornets. Was waived by the Hornets and returned home to North Carolina, where he worked out at a gym owned by friend and fellow rapper J. Cole. J. Cole called the Heat assistant Caron Butler about Martin and singing his praises. September 2021, he signed a 2-way deal with the Heat, which was upgraded to a contract the remainder of the season. Then he was awarded, July of 2022, he was rewarded with a 3-year, $20 million deal. May 2023, helped Miami become only the second 8 seed to ever reach the NBA Finals.
Pretty good story.
Yeah, and then what about his brother?
Stuck in Charlotte. All right, let's see. Players of the week. I have Aaron Judge, 8 for 19, 8 runs, 4 home runs, 6 RBIs, 2 doubles, 3 walks, putting the Yankees on his back.
I went with the Marlins left fielder, or I think he's just their outfielder, or no, he's their left fielder, Brian De La Cruz. 7 for 24, 6 runs, 2 home runs, or 6 runs, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 5 walks. So pretty much 12 for 24.
Interesting. It's not bad.
No.
All right. Let's see. NHL. Mentioned this last week. The Leafs named former Flames GM Brad Treliving as their 19th GM in franchise history. Probably easier to build a winner in Toronto than Calgary, but we'll see what he does. And then the Predators hired Andrew Brunette as their replacement for John Hines. Brunette coached in Florida last year. This is Barry Trotz's first hire as the GM of the Preds. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and then the Kraken signed GM Francis to a 3-year extension. So is he the first of the 2 expansion teams to get an extension as a GM?
I feel like maybe not.
I didn't know if Vegas.
I think McCrimmon probably has gotten an extension between now and when they first started. I mean, he's been their GM for 7 years now, so he
yeah, I'd assume so.
Probably has, yeah.
And then Capitals name Leafs assistant Carberry as their new head coach.
I get some new in a league where we see a lot of recycling of head coaches. This is a good hire, I think, to bring in an assistant, see what he can do. So there's been examples of it working in the past.
Yeah, it worked this year into the playoffs.
True. Eastern Conference Finals, the Panthers finished the Hurricanes off in 4.
And the Western Conference Final, the Golden Knights finally finished off the Stars in 6. So Stanley Cup Finals start Saturday, June 3rd. Vegas versus Panthers. What are your picks for this?
Yeah,
this changed from when you originally wrote this down.
Well, I think it's going to go long. I debated maybe going Florida in 7, but I'm going to go Vegas in 7. I think we'll probably get a 7-game series somewhere since the conference finals didn't really seem close, even though Vegas only won in 6.
Should have won in 4.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure when you first wrote this, it said Vegas in 6.
Maybe I wrote it accidentally, but I think I've always said 7.
Well, I'm taking Vegas in 5.
I could see that too. I could see Florida being out of gas, but
they might vulture the first one away, and then Vegas is going to make their corrections. Not Bruce Cassidy. Vegas as a whole.
Sure, right. Yeah, I'm thinking Florida wins game 1. Then Vegas goes up like 2-1. Then it becomes 2-2. Then Florida goes up 3-2, and then Vegas wins the last 2. Florida blows a chance to win the cup in game 6, and then Vegas in a game 7 at home is like impossible to beat, I think. So we'll see.
Almost like Vegas in game 6.
True. On to the picks. I went 6-2 last week.
I went 6-4, and then I looked back to what I did 2 weeks ago. I went 7-3, so I'm now currently sitting at 829 and 606.
I am 805 and 603. Start
in the NBA for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm taking the Nuggets minus 8.5. I think they're going to kill them in game 1.
Yeah, I'm taking the same thing. I mean, especially if I'm taking the Nuggets in 4.
Yeah, they're going to get run over in game 1, and then game 2 will be closer. Then the Heat will win game 3, and then it'll be over in 5. Nailed it.
Like, hey, Miami, I know you just won. You probably partied a little bit. Then you probably flew back to Miami, and then you had to fly to Denver.
Yeah, going to Denver in a game 1 altitude, they're going to get run over.
Yeah, we've been practicing this whole time, watching a lot of tape.
Yeah. All right, MLB picks.
Oh man, I didn't write down the. odds here.
I'll say this about the Heat also, or about the Nuggets. The thing that sucks for the Heat, I think, is that we see, or that the Nuggets saw that the Heat went up 3-0, and they probably started to watch tape on the Heat, and then it goes to 3-3. The Nuggets have had more time to watch Heat tape than they normally would have if it was a back and forth series. So
Well, even back and forth, they're able to watch both ways.
Yeah, but it's even easier when you know it's probably going to be the Heat and you have extra time because it goes to 7 games.
I forgot to write the numbers. I would say I didn't pick this game, but tomorrow's matchup, Red Sox against the Reds, you got Hunter Green versus Chris Sale.
Yeah, I picked it.
But I took the Blue Jays minus 180 over the Brewers, Mets minus 165 over the Phillies, Padres minus 120 over the Marlins, D-backs minus 165 over the Rockies, and the Guardians plus 10 over the Twins.
All right, I am taking Blue Jays minus 180 over the Brewers, Rockies plus 140 at the D-backs, Red Sox minus 155 against the Reds, Twins minus 130 over the Guardians, and the Phillies plus 140 at the Mets.
You're only supposed to take one against me, and you took 3 against me.
It's going to be a big head-to-head week. The Memorial Tournament.
To win, I took John Rahm plus 750, Xander Schauffele plus 1,200, and Hideki Matsuyama at plus 4,000.
Taking John Rahm plus 750, Colin Morikawa plus 2,200, and Ricky Fowler plus 3,500.
Top 5, I took Scotty Scheffler plus 150.
I have Jordan Spieth plus 650, but I have zero confidence in that pick. I don't even know why I did it, to be honest.
Well, I mean, you did put Ricky Fowler to win as well.
He's going to win at some point. He's been playing great. I think he might win this week. I could really see it.
Top 10, I took Victor Hovland plus 200.
I'll take Corey Connors plus 360.
Top 20, I took Justin Thomas plus 125.
I'm taking Sahith Theegala plus 200.
In top 40, I took my guy, Stefan Jaeger plus 110.
Taking Adam Schenk plus 130. Played well last week. Lost in the playoff. Top 40 should be easy, but you never know with this tournament.
I'm hot on golfers. I've hit on 3 golfers back-to-back weeks.
I'm just getting warmed up for my World Series, which is the U.S. Open at LACC, which will be maybe during the week of like our second to last episode before we take a break in July. So we'll see. It'll be a big way to go into the break for me is by hitting every single golfer at LACC, but who knows?
Hitting every golfer.
Except for the one of the 3 winners and then everything else.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, that'll do it for us. We'll be back next week, discuss the fact that the Nuggets are going to win the finals probably, and a few other things. We'll see everybody next week for the first episode in June.
Deuces.